Picture this, a young, hungry college student barely scraping by, the weight of tuition fees, rent, and daily expenses pressing down on his shoulders. Every day felt like a battle for survival, with the future looking uncertain and daunting. That was me, working nights selling home security systems. I had to juggle my studies during the day and hit the streets at night, knocking on doors, hoping to make a sale. The job was grueling, but it was my only lifeline. I pounded the pavement, my stomach often emptier than my wallet. The hunger was a constant reminder of my situation, pushing me to keep going, to knock on just one more door, to make just one more pitch. Each no felt like a punch to the gut. The rejections were relentless, and each one chipped away at my spirit. I often found myself questioning my choices, wondering if I was on the right path. But I clung to a vision, a life of abundance, free from financial worries. I had dreams of a better future, where I wouldn't have to worry about money, where I could provide for my family and live comfortably. This sales job, as tough as it was, felt like my ticket out. It was an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to prove to myself that I could succeed. I believed that if I could master this, I could master anything. It was a chance to prove myself, to build something from the ground up. I spent countless hours studying sales techniques, refining my pitch, and learning from every interaction. I was determined to turn every setback into a learning experience. Little did I know, this was just the first chapter in a much bigger story. Each day, I faced countless rejections, but each rejection was a step closer to success. I began to see the bigger picture, understanding that every no brought me closer to a yes. Each day, I faced countless rejections. The doors that closed in my face were not just physical barriers, but mental ones as well. They tested my resolve, my patience, and my belief in myself. People slammed doors in my face. They doubted my product, questioned my motives, and often treated me with disdain. It was a humbling experience, one that forced me to dig deep and find strength I didn't know I had. They doubted my product, questioned my motives. Every skeptical look, every dismissive comment was a challenge I had to overcome. I learned to handle objections, to build rapport, and to find common ground with potential customers. The sting of each no chipped away at my confidence. There were days when I felt like giving up, when the weight of rejection was too much to bear. But I knew that giving up was not an option. Was I cut out for this? The doubts crept in, making me question my abilities and my worth. I wondered if I was chasing an impossible dream, if I was destined to fail. Was success just a pipe dream? I questioned everything, my goals, my methods, my future, but in those moments of doubt, I also found clarity. I realized that success was not just about the end result, but about the journey and the lessons learned along the way. But deep down, a flicker of determination still burned. I knew that I had to keep going, that I had to find a way to turn my dreams into reality. That flicker of hope was my guiding light, pushing me forward even when the odds were against me. I knew I had to find a better way. I sought out mentors, read books on sales and personal development, and constantly looked for ways to improve. I was committed to becoming the best version of myself. There had to be a more effective approach to sales. I experimented with different techniques, refined my strategies, and learned from every failure. Slowly but surely, I began to see progress. The rejections became less frequent and the yeses started to come. The traditional sales tactics weren't working. The scripted pitches, the pushy closes, they felt hollow, inauthentic. People saw right through them. I was hitting a wall, my dreams seemingly slipping away. I started to doubt myself. Was I not aggressive enough? Not persuasive enough? The more I tried to force it, the more resistant people became. It was demoralizing, to say the least. I knew something had to change, but I didn't know what. Robin's message resonated deep within me. It was as if he was speaking directly to my soul, addressing the very doubts and fears that had been holding me back for so long. His words were not just motivational, they were transformative, offering a new perspective on life and success. He wasn't peddling get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, he was offering something far more valuable, a blueprint for personal growth and self-improvement. His approach was grounded in reality, emphasizing the importance of hard work, dedication, and continuous learning. He was advocating for self-improvement, for mastering the skills that lead to success. He spoke about the importance of setting clear goals, developing a positive mindset, and taking consistent action towards achieving those goals. It was about becoming the best version of oneself. It was a light bulb moment. Suddenly, everything clicked. I understood that success wasn't a destination, but a journey, one that required constant effort and a willingness to learn and adapt. I realized that sales wasn't about pushing products. It wasn't about convincing someone to buy something they didn't need. Instead, it was about genuinely understanding the needs and desires of others and offering solutions that could truly benefit them. It was about understanding people, their needs, their desires. It was about connecting with them on a deeper level, building relationships based on trust and mutual respect. It was about being empathetic and truly listening to what they had to say. It was about building trust and rapport. Trust is the foundation of any successful relationship, whether personal or professional. Without it, no amount of persuasion or sales tactics would be effective. I needed to become a student of human behavior to learn the art of persuasion. I needed to understand what drives people, what motivates them, and how they make decisions. This knowledge would be crucial in helping me connect with others and offer them real value. That night, a fire ignited within me. I felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. I was no longer content with just getting by. I wanted to excel, to make a real difference in my life and the lives of others. I devoured every book and tape I could find on psychology, persuasion, and human behavior. I spent countless hours reading, listening, and absorbing as much information as I could. I was on a mission to transform myself and my approach to sales. I immersed myself in the teachings of experts like Dale Carnegie, Robert Cialdini, and of course, Tony Robbins. Each of them offered unique insights and strategies that helped me understand the complexities of human behavior and the art of persuasion. The more I learned, the more I realized how little I knew about the human mind. It was a humbling experience, but it also fueled my desire to learn even more. I was fascinated by the intricacies of decision-making, the power of emotions, and the subtle cues that influence our choices. I became fascinated by the intricacies of decision-making, the power of emotions, and the subtle cues that influence our choices. I started to observe people more closely, paying attention to their body language, their tone of voice, and their reactions in different situations. I was determined to apply these insights to my sales approach. I practiced my sales pitch in front of the mirror, refining my techniques and incorporating what I had learned. I sought feedback from mentors and colleagues, always looking for ways to improve and grow. I attended workshops and seminars, eager to learn from the best in the field. I networked with other professionals, exchanging ideas and gaining new perspectives. Each interaction was an opportunity to learn and grow. Reflecting on my journey, I realized how far I had come. The voice on the radio had sparked a fire within me, leading me on a path of self-discovery and growth. I felt more confident, more motivated, and more equipped to achieve my goals. With each new goal I set, I felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. I knew that the journey ahead would be challenging, but I was ready to face it head-on. The lessons I had learned and the skills I had developed would guide me towards success. The voice on the radio had given me a spark of hope, a new perspective on life and success. It had shown me that with the right mindset, dedication, and continuous learning, anything was possible. I was ready to take on the world one step at a time. From the very beginning, I was fascinated by the intricate dance of human behavior, the subtle cues, and the underlying motivations that drive our actions. This curiosity led me to immerse myself in the world of psychology and behavioral economics, where I sought to understand the principles that govern our decisions. I had always been intrigued by the complexities of human behavior. The way people think, feel, and act in different situations captivated me. I wanted to uncover the hidden mechanisms that influence our choices, the unseen forces that shape our lives. This quest for knowledge became a driving force in my academic journey. Now I saw an opportunity to bridge the gap between theory and practice. It wasn't enough to simply understand these concepts on an intellectual level. I wanted to apply them in real-world scenarios. I envisioned a way to take the rich insights from behavioral science and translate them into practical strategies that could be used in everyday interactions, particularly in the realm of sales and persuasion. I delved into research papers, studying the works of leading psychologists and behavioral economists. I pored over studies and experiments, absorbing the findings of experts who had dedicated their lives to understanding human behavior. Each paper I read brought me closer to a deeper comprehension of the psychological principles at play. I learned about cognitive biases, the shortcuts our brains take to make decisions. These mental shortcuts, while often useful, can lead us astray in surprising ways. Understanding these biases was crucial, as they revealed the predictable patterns in our thinking that could be leveraged in persuasive communication. I discovered the power of framing, how the way we present information can dramatically influence choices. The same piece of information, when framed differently, can lead to entirely different outcomes. This insight was a game changer, highlighting the importance of not just what we say, but how we say it. This wasn't just academic theory to me anymore. It was a revelation, a new lens through which I could view the world. The theories and concepts I had studied were no longer abstract ideas. They were tools that could be wielded to achieve tangible results. It was a roadmap to sales mastery. I began to see how these principles could be applied to influence and persuade others effectively. The more I learned, the more I realized that traditional sales techniques were missing a crucial element. I realized that traditional sales techniques often failed because they relied on logic and reason. They assumed that people made decisions based solely on rational analysis, weighing pros and cons in a detached manner. But this was far from the truth. While important, these factors alone rarely drove purchasing decisions. Emotions played a far greater role than most people realized. Our feelings, intuitions, and gut reactions often guide our choices more than we care to admit. Emotions played a far greater role than most people realized. They are the silent drivers behind many of our actions, influencing us in ways that are often subconscious. Recognizing this was a pivotal moment in my journey. To be truly persuasive, I needed to connect with people on an emotional level. It wasn't enough to present logical arguments. I had to tap into their feelings, their desires, and their fears. This required a deeper understanding of human nature and a genuine empathy for others. I needed to understand their underlying motivations, their hopes, their fears. What drove them? What kept them up at night? By gaining this insight, I could tailor my approach to resonate with their innermost needs and aspirations. This realization led me to develop a new approach. This method combined the insights from behavioral science with practical techniques for engaging with others on a deeper level. It was a holistic approach that considered both the rational and emotional aspects of decision-making, paving the way for more effective and meaningful persuasion.